It's time to soothe, groove, and move those hidden innuendos. Hello, and welcome to the program. I want to raise a glass to you, my dear.
Yes. Indeed.
Thank you so much for being with me today. I really appreciate you, girl.
Let's drink tea and chat.
Let's drink tea and chat
world.
and talk about love. Did you wake up? Did you decide to wake up one morning and say, you know what? I'm going to be a therapist. And then you're like, you know what? Let's raise up those stakes here. Let's find out the most clever, coolest therapist to be on this planet. And I think a dance therapist is by far, when you look it up on the yellow pages or on Yelp, you're like, fuck yeah, this is what I need. I need some good therapy. How do you decide to become a dance therapist?
It was really fun, actually. So I was in university, and my friend was like, "Oh, you have to come to this dance class." And she said, "But you're meant to have done an introduction, so pretend you have." And I got onto this dance floor, and they played a whole heap of music. I was gone. I was more alive than I've ever been, and I was like, "That's it. I'm home."
What type of music?
The dance floor's my home. It was a wide range of music. It's a dance form I went on to train in, which was 5 rhythms, Gabrielle Roth's 5 rhythms. She was a New Yorker, actually, your side. And after that, I realised that the UK is small and institutions are small-minded. And I needed a passport to get into these institutions. So I trained to become a dance movement psychotherapist. To get into those places. So I worked in what we have over here, which is the NHS. I worked in schools. I worked in all sorts of, I work with adults. But really it's about what the body holds, which is why I'm significant to you guys and your listeners. So what the body holds, the body tells you a story. So right now I notice that, Shervin's right shoulder is minimally higher than his left shoulder, right? There's a story there. Whether it's how his father used to stand, or maybe he got an injury playing football, or maybe there's more tension in the right side of his body than the left. Who knows until you're in a session with me, right? But I found stories in my body that wanted to be told and then gone forever. The gone forever bit is the nice bit.
Yeah.
And once you realize the alchemy of that, it's a very powerful tool. So, Bessel van der Kolk, The Body Keeps the Score, amazing book, all about what the body is holding. And we want to digest what's there, because then we have a whole heap of energy for life. But also we want to hold this body sacred, so it no longer thinks what did happen to it that was hard is ever going to happen again. And that's what my clients come with.
So do you have a lot more men than women, or is it more women than men as your clientele?
I'm pretty equal. On the whole, It's more women.
Okay.
But I have a good relationship with both my parents, which tends to influence my client group. And I'm in a female body. And so essentially I do understand a female body better than a male body. So it's mainly women, but men find their way to me, particularly emotionally literate men, because they want to be working things out.
I think more men need to be working things out, especially as we get older, because truth be told, as we get older, the things that we want to move more, they don't move as frequently as they should. And it's always that question is everything okay? Yeah, everything's fine. And I think we all know what that means. But for me, as you mentioned, it's all about the flow. It's all about the release, because whatever happened in the past, it's still brewing inside you to where you can't perform, you can't think, your shoulder, one shoulder is higher than the other, like you said. But going back with men, don't you feel like more men need to be part of this movement that you're doing right now? Because a lot more men carry a lot more bricks than women, and they have a hard time letting that go. Do you find that to be true?
I think I would work with anybody that came in front of me. And there's often similar stories to the male brick, and there's a different similar story in the female brick. So there's a different type of brick. And I would love more men to be involved, and they are. In fact, I was talking to a friend in South Africa last night, and he's trying to launch something to do specifically with men trying to talk about their feelings and how oppressed they are. And it's really hard, because then you also have this big movement of women that are really saying, I want a relationship where I'm with an emotionally literate man, where I'm with somebody who asks me how I feel and can handle what it is I say, or notices, or doesn't shut me down, or doesn't mind if I cry during sex, like all the things. And so also men are equally kind of oppressed to be this alpha male thing, and at the same time women are saying, but what I want is somebody who understands the heart. I'm talking about heterosexual men at that point, to be fair, but also a man just for himself to understand his own heart and not shut it down is a really liberated force.
God, it's the hardest thing right now, is getting not only men to talk about their feelings, but for men to be expressive, and for men to just to admit that they're wrong, right? Because most of the time men are wrong when it comes to dating. I'm gonna say that flat out, because I hear it all the time. It's the narcissism, it's the dick pics, it's the ghosting, it's the way that men treat women. A lot of these men on dates, they're constantly talking and never asking questions about the woman. So in this case, like, and I love that your friend's trying to help, and I feel like we need more help for men. We really do. Yeah. Like, but men are stubborn. They don't want to admit that. But like for me, like I would happily take a dance class, because again, I've got so much more like build up that I would just love to release, because I feel like the male body, as stiff as it is, as muscular as it is, I feel like it's got a lot of demons that are just carrying this burden. And I feel like once you let it go, my gosh, it's liberating. It really is.
Yeah.
And not only like out in your everyday workforce, but also entirely in the bedroom as well. Because I feel like you can notice it a lot better. Like you're like, damn, I'm really doing a good job. Like I'm doing it. Like I got it. You know, like it feels good again. Like you want to feel like a 22-year-old. And I feel like a lot of the older men, they're constantly battling themselves because pride gets in the way. Pride's always getting in the way for these men.
Yeah, I mean, what you've said so many things there. First of all, I want to.
I say a lot of things. I know. Sometimes I just ramble.
You're gonna give me another pound?
Did you hear that? A Venmo account just going?
Yeah, like so great that you would find a dance class. There's loads near you. I'll link you up with some people. Secondly, yeah, I think the male body has so much to say, and it's ultimately beautiful to see that happen on a dance floor. When I'm holding a space and the men in there are letting go, that's such a compliment to the space, but it's such a gift to fucking humanity. Like, amazing, thank you. And just for themselves to put those demons away. And then you went on to sort of say like 4 or 5 points of when men are making mistakes within the dating scene. They're not listening, they're talking about themselves. And women, maybe not so much in all parts of the world, but women are seeing through things, you know. They notice. They notice when someone's not giving them attention, hasn't asked them a question about their lives. Like, you know, there was a guy who I used to date in high school, and he phoned me up after 25 years and a failed marriage. Didn't even ask me what I did for a living. You know, he asked me for a photo of myself. It was like, come on, man. Like,
what type of photo?
Do better. Do better. Exactly. And then the whole dick pic thing, like, it's worth kind of breaking down. Like, men, this is a tendency, right? Men tend to be more visual, right? Which is how we've got some level of toxicity going on. Women tend to be much more feeling. So like, a woman is going to get turned on by your heart opening more than that dick pic. Right. You know, when a man opens his heart, like, we're good. You know, not be clienting on me, but like being present, being aware, knowing what he's feeling and telling me. Like, that's what women want to be hearing a lot of the time.
So how do we get more men to be expressive when it comes to that? Like, I can only do so much, right? I can only do this and just carry that message. But and again, this is good. This is good because I want women to vocalize this. I think the more that they keep talking about this, the more men say, okay, you're right. What can I do to help? You're hoping for that,
Yeah.
right? You're hoping for men to wake up one day and say, it's my fault. My bad. What I've been doing was wrong. I apologize for that. No more dick pics. No more narcissism. No more me. I want it to be a halfway street to where I ask you questions, you ask me questions, and we have a mutual conversation. I want this to be right. Wouldn't that be nice if you woke up one day and you got a guy calling you, like your high school buddy, calling you one day and say, you know what? Whatever I did in the past, I'm sorry if I did something to you, but I want to make it right. And I want to take you out for tea or coffee or whatever and make it up to you. Do you feel like when you get guys who call you for a second chance to admit that they were wrong, do you find that really flattering and really sexy?
What happened to me when you described that scenario was my heart opened.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I don't find it flattering. I find it impressive. I'm like, wow, you did some work on yourself. And the thing is, like, I have a son, and I've already had people say this to him: "Our boys don't cry," and I've always very quickly followed it with, "Yes, they do. Yes, they do. They do all the time." Because, like, don't be telling my son boys don't cry. That's where it starts. Because otherwise, there's going to be somebody out there one day dating somebody that doesn't know what they're feeling. And isn't that sad that they, like, some men don't know what they're feeling because they were told not to feel.
Oh yeah, men do cry though. Just so you know.
Yeah, I do.
Men do cry.
It's really beautiful when men cry.
Yeah, I remember one day.
Do have orgasms.
Oh yeah, they do. And it's beautiful. And I'll tell you about that too. But like, I remember there's one day vividly. I remember when I was about maybe the midpoint of the breakup, the ultimate breakup, if you will. And I remember I was in my closet, and something hit me, just dawned on me, and literally, like Chloe, I broke down. I just fell to my knees and I started crying hysterically, like just out of nowhere, because the feeling that for anyone on this planet, male or female, knowing that that person that loved you came out of nowhere and just ripped your heart out, it was painful. It's super painful. And like, heartbreak is such a big passion of mine, but like I keep reiterating this, is that like when people do shitty things, it's okay to admit humility. It's okay to cry. It's okay to feel vulnerable, to know that like, yeah, you're in a really painful state right now, and that's okay. You know, it happens. It happens. This is life. You're gonna get heartbroken maybe a couple more times in your life, but it all just depends on you. It depends on how you overcome it. And I feel like the more you really believe in yourself, the more that you can really pull yourself out of the ashes and tell yourself that you are an extremely amazing person and that you did nothing wrong. The world is a lot better for you. The dating life is a lot better for you. You'll start to see things a lot differently, and you become wiser. Like I became, like literally, like I think my emotional intelligence just went tenfold after a breakup. So I believe that, is it healthy? Absolutely. I think that if you do get heartbroken, you got to look at it this way. Yes, it is painful, but it's also healthy at the same way, because you become a new person. You start to see what you did in the past, and you start to bring in the good stuff from the past and bring into the new person that you are now. And for me, I can truthfully say that if that ever does happen again, I know exactly what to do. And that is to be patient with myself. But going back on the
beautifully spoken.
Well,
beautifully spoken. And maybe it was meant to change us. Having had my own heart smashed to pieces, there's a thing in Mind Valley called the hindsight window. It's the space between the event that seems terrible at the time and the amount of time it needs in you and your life to realize that you could gain benefit from it. So when my heart was smashed to pieces, yeah, I was in that place. I was in the ashes. I did look back and think there are things I would have done differently had I known what I know now. But I'm
When was your heartbreak?
When was it?
Yeah, when was your heartbreak? Yeah, when was it?
It was 5 years ago, and it's made me who I am today. I might not be sitting here with you if it wasn't for it, right?
Sure.
I became a expanded, more emotionally literate, ecstatic, like powerhouse because I then had to dig into all the places that need looking at. It made me face the things that without that I might never have faced. That demon would have sat there for my whole life unless I went, oh, you, hey, come home. Hey, little girl, come and sit on my lap. You were scared all along. And now you're home. And now the party really starts.
Hell yeah, right? It does.
Yeah,
It totally does.
right.
And you're
Did
single
you
now?
learn self? No, I'm in a partnership. Did you learn self-loyalty?
I love, by the way, you said you're in a partnership. I don't think I've ever heard that before. I'm in a partnership. It could have just say relationship. I'm in a partnership.
Yeah, I'm
Is
in a
it signed and
partnership.
documented
Yeah.
and dated and all that?
Does that mean like we take it in turns driving the car? Partnership.
No,
Yeah.
I'm just messing with you. I think that's beautiful, by the way, because again, it is a partnership. It's a mutual
Yeah.
partnership.
And I'm also in partnership with myself, which is a really good place to be. I think I learned to self-abandon at quite a young age. And when you're doing that, it's hard to be very fully in any relationship you're in because you've left parts of yourself behind. There's parts of yourself that you hide. There's parts of yourself that you don't dare feel,
Yeah.
you know. So learning self-loyalty was big, and then there's more of you to bring. Like when I'm with someone, like I'm like, show me who you are. Like I would be a nightmare on the dating apps. I have clients that are
Why
on
do you
the
say
dating
that?
apps.
Why do you say that?
Now I owe you £1.
Yeah, take it back.
Yeah, it's 2-1 right now. It's because I would be the person that would be sitting there on that first date, whatever you call it, and I'd be asking all the direct questions. I'd be like uncensored, like, oh my God, so like what's the most significant thing that ever happened to you in your life? Or, I'm not scared to go to the point. Like,
What's wrong
what's
with
the
that?
thing you care? What? Nothing's wrong with it. People just aren't used to it. But it's not going to stop me doing it. But that's
Yeah.
why I'd be a nightmare on the dating apps, because I'm going to say, oh, what's the most important thing to you in your whole life? I would want to know that if I was going to be in a relationship with you. What's your dream that you want to succeed in that you never dare tell anyone? Because I want to help you with that.
Yeah.
That's
I
what
love that.
partnership's about. Yeah. I should care about what your best dream is, because I'm going to be your fucking loudest cheerleader.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah, I want to know. Yeah, what team you like, so that way I'm going to be rooting for you. So because and I think that's great.
Exactly.
Why the hell do people just ask like stupid questions like how was your day? I hate the how was your day, or what's your favorite color? All that shit. Like people don't want to know
Do
that.
people do that? Do people
Oh,
ask
they
that?
do. They do.
What
They
else do
do.
they do?
What else did I actually? Truth be told, I actually deleted my Bumble app after how many years? Seriously, though, it's gone. Like I do not plan on going back into the Bumble world. Truthfully,
Why not?
here's the thing. I love dating apps. I'll always support dating apps. Are they great? They are. But are they the downfall of social media and today's dating world? Absolutely. I think it's gotten to shit. It can do a lot better, but it's not doing what it's supposed to be doing, and that's trying to find people love. But that's not exactly what the motto is now. But I stopped it because I was tired of being picked, right? I was tired of being selected. And I feel like a profile does not do me or you or anyone any justice. It just shows you what I look like on the picture. In the profile, I can say anything I want to impress you. I can be any height I can be. I can say any clever saying and get you to match with me. But honestly, like it doesn't mean anything at the end of the day. I can match with you. We can have a good conversation via text and profile. But after that, like after a day or two, people just kind of move on. They don't really care for it anymore. They like that like early suspense. They like the early attraction. And then after that, they're like, I want more. I want to see what else I can get. I want to see how many more likes I can get in a day. And I've heard women getting like 1,300 likes a day. And that's crazy. So where do I fall in with that 1,300? Where? So why? Why do I even want to be in that pool of men when I know my worth? I guarantee you that of those 1,300, I can probably be better than 1,295 of them, because I believe in myself and I know that I've got a lot more to give than what my profile can provide.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I don't believe in it anymore. But if people want to do it, by all means, go for it.
And then where would you be exposing yourself to people that you might want to date?
Honey, I'm going to do this the old-fashioned way, and that is walking up to people, or not people, but women. I'm going to be walking up to women and just say hello. I'm going to start off with a conversation and a smile. And I've actually been doing that. I've been practicing that a lot lately. And it's working.
Nice.
It's working.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So many people out there are wanting that again. So many clients of mine are ditching the dating apps and wanting to meet people in real places. You know, so going back to the body and how much I use the body, I'd be really encouraging people to listen to what your body does when you are around somebody. Because at the end of the day, we're very primal creatures. So, like, is your body relaxing around this person? Does your body open? Do you feel warm? Have you laughed? That would be a barometer for me. Like,
yeah.
Do they
can make someone
eye
laugh.
Contact? Yeah.
Yes.
Do they make eye contact, and how long for? Do they know when to stop making eye contact? You know, like.
I want to hear. I want you to tell me how long you think an eye contact stare down is valid for a woman. Like if a man was staring at a woman, how long would you say would be a good window for a man to go and talk to a woman?
A good window.
Yeah.
It would be completely down to what response you were getting from that body that you were with. So if you're looking at a person and they're meeting you and they're engaged, now how do you know they're engaged? Because their posture hasn't closed, because their chest opened slightly, because the corners of their mouth started to smile, because then there's some kind of little electric moment where you're noticing that you've both noticed that you're staring at each other. And then you're following through on that. If they look down, they found it a bit too intense, have they looked back at you to have a little bit more of what it was that you were offering them?
Mm-hmm.
And then the person will be noticing what it is that you are after. If you are literally after, it would depend on whether that matched them. If the person was looking just for sex, then is the other person just looking just for sex? If they're looking at you in a way that's sort of like, God, amazing if we could go out for dinner, because I'd like to know more about you, that is going to be held within that gaze. That person is going to feel that, oh, they're interested in me as a person also, and that matches my desire here, my need here. And then do they railroad in too fast? Or like spatial awareness, listen to the other body. Do they pause before they run over and give you their business card? Is there a little moment where the subtlety of the two bodies find each other, and then there's a movement? Now, I'm a dancer, so you can feel it. Is there an impulse to move toward? Did you listen to whether the other body had the impulse to move toward? As somebody who's good at making love, right? That you're listening to what the other body wanted, and then you move in. Beautiful.
So I feel like dancing should be incorporated with dating in a way, like the way, like, because again, like when I walk, I actually kind of do a little dance too, like because I feel in the back of my head I hear Bee Gees in the background, so I'm like dancing, and again, like I've got that confident walk, but it's not like that arrogant walk, but it's a confident walk to where like I'm moving my hips because I like to feel that. But like if I'm gonna go approach a woman, I gotta make it seem like I am dancing in a way, because if I'm moving, that means I'm more relaxed. Would you agree? Because if I'm just standing tense, that means that like I'm just trying to just get a number. But if I show her that I'm being a little, suave, moving around, that I got some type of momentum here, that I can just be cool about it, and then show her that I can be who I am. First off, if any man's dancing in front of a woman, I think that's a huge plus, because I mean, you don't see that nowadays, right? But again, if I were dancing and I happen to see a woman, I'd be very confident with that and say, hey, do you like what you see? Can I come and talk to you?
Yeah. Yeah, and do they dance back? You know, nice.
They dance,
And
yeah.
do they dance back? Like,
Yeah.
and some of that, which is the job that I do really, some of that with people is like, is it safe to dance with this person? Well, is their history dictating whether or not they feel safe? Or have they got like no need for hypervigilance? And actually they're just feeling you and they feel good with you and they dance back because the impulse was clean. So a lot of what I do is help people digest the difference. We want people just to be seeing Shervin dancing. We don't want people to be having a transference or projection that Shervin's their dad or their ex-lover or their brother or their, you know? So we want to be doing the work so we can be really present with the person that's in front of us, which, again, going back to heartbreak, if you've had your heart broken, you want to do a lot of repair so that your heart feels safe to love again. So I had a client whose heart was broken, but quite seriously. She lost the person that she was in love with, and she came to me and she said, I really want to be in partnership, you know, and it's not quite working out. Like everybody I meet, they're either too this or too that, or too serious or too clever or too not clever. What we uncovered somatically, which is the way I work with a nervous system or a person in front of me, was a big fear in her of ever loving anybody ever again. Because what her nervous system had stored was, if you love someone, you are going to lose them. But once you make that conscious and you bring it into your awareness and you take care of the part of you that's very scared to love again, and you say, I know we're scared, but maybe Shervin's okay. Maybe we'll give him a go. Maybe we'll just do one cup of tea and see how we feel, without pretending that his hair's wrong or his whatever it is, that the excuse is to keep you away, just to see what he has to say. Did he ask me enough questions about myself? Because that's what's complex for people who've had their heart broken, is the fear of it happening again. And then there's that beautiful moment when you realize that, like, you've got here, you're in life, and if you don't love, you're going to miss out on everything that life has to offer. Like, you're saying yes to everything that feels good, and you do want to risk having your heart broken because it will probably be worth it. Because humans are amazing.
Yeah. Do you really think it is worth it though to expose your heart again to someone and let them be there for that moment of time that they say they love you to, and then find out the next morning that it wasn't a lie, but it wasn't what you were expecting. It wasn't that everlasting love, and you wake up and you find out that they're gone forever. Like, erase all contact, and you're just kind of abandoned. Well, I actually have one guest in mind here that he is still to this day, and it's been about 7 or 8 months, to where he is getting worse by the hour and not getting better by the minute, because he is not allowing himself to let go of this person. But let's just say, if he were one of your clients, if he contacted you today and said, you know what, Chloe, 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 I went through a really bad breakup. This girl broke my heart in a million pieces. I don't know what to do. Like, what would be like the first steps for you to have him take, just to let him know, hey, let's help you better sleep at night? Like, how would you help him?
Yeah, I'd be wanting to move towards him holding the part of him that is broken. Because one of the things that's really key here is him holding that broken part of him with love, with whatever that broken part of him needs in order to recover, and not rushing it.
Yeah.
Because we outsource our safety a lot. And one of the benefits of having my heart broken was I learned not to outsource my safety. So I have a very strong bullshit radar, and I'm with me the whole time. So what I would love for this beautiful man who's had his heart broken is for him always to be with himself, and that he'll never abandon himself ever again because he felt abandoned. And that's not to say that he can't trust again and love again, but to hold the part of him that's hurting until that part feels okay again would be the first port of call. And we hold on to people often because we can't see who's coming next. And the person that we're with all the time is ourselves.
That's scary, right? To think that, like, you have no idea who the next person is going to come into your life, into your kid's life, and be there either for a month or a year or for life. You have no idea what to expect. You don't know who that person is. And it's just such a weird feeling, like the thought of loving a complete stranger, right? It's like,
I thought it was exciting, not scary.
It's exciting is also scary as well, right? Like, you can be excited
Yeah.
and scared and excited. I think they're both go hand in hand. Like, it's exciting and it's also scary because, again, you want to fall in love, but then again, you don't, because you don't want to fall out of love. You don't want that person to break your heart, or you don't want to break that person's heart. So, I mean, there's just so many, I don't know, for me, there's
also,
just so many. Yeah, go ahead.
There's like, I would like your opinion on something.
Sure.
There's like a wave of awareness going through relationships. So sometimes we're very scared of that breakup because we think that the breakup has to be the same as our last breakup or the breakup of our parents. And there's a like the phrase conscious uncoupling, or I know quite a few people these days that they've split up with their partner and they have stayed friends, or they've co-parented really well, actually. And it's not to say there isn't difficulty, but they've talked about the difficulty well as well. So that we might be scared of the heartbreak in the future, but if you slow the whole thing down, if people grow up a bit into mature feelings to be present to the heart that you are breaking, people don't want to be present to the heart they're breaking because it hurts inside of them. Grow up, trust the expansion of your heart, and let it hurt. It hurts. You are hurting someone. Yeah. And it should do. It should do. Doesn't mean you it's wrong to leave, because maybe that's still the right thing to do, but it should do. You loved them. And maybe there's a place where you never stop loving them, even if you separate. Because we're very immature. We think it's easier to slam the door and drive off, like this poor guy. He woke up, there was no one there ever again. Like, not good behavior. Care for another human being. It hurts them. Be present. Answer their questions. Tell them there's nothing wrong with them. This just doesn't feel right for me. Or, I was angry and I didn't tell you soon enough, and now I'm furious, and now I don't know what to do. How are we going to work this out? Or, I was told never to feel anything, so I can't express my feelings in this relationship, so I've kind of failed us. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I can see you need to be with someone who's illiterate in emotions.
What about forgiveness, though? Because you can be heartbroken, but what about forgiveness? Can people start to forgive now, especially in today's world?
I did a really annoying workshop once with the
really annoying one.
Yeah.
What was? Oh, I got it.
Yeah, well, it was impactful, which was great. So I'm glad I sat through the annoying bit. But it was in the principle of Byron Katie's work. Now, my big takeaway from the annoying workshop, it was kind of badly delivered, but that's okay. I'm a facilitator. I can get over myself, right? But like, what I got was when I hold on to, there's a really good place to not forgive. There's a really good place of fury that I have sat in. I have felt anger that I thought I could never contain. Like I just didn't realize that my body, I'm quite small, could hold that much anger, right? But there got to a point in my anger and my rage, and luckily I have dance floors to work it out on, that I realized if I was going to carry on being this angry, that it was hurting me. When I was this is the annoying bit, when I was choosing rage every time to validate my perspective, it hurt me. And what I wanted actually was to feel some other things, to feel laughter again, to piss myself with a friend, like laughing. That's a phrase we have over in the UK, like laughing till you're crying, like to. So forgiveness, I held the word really lightly because it seemed like such a big word. It seemed like such a heavy word. But when you arrive in forgiveness, first of all, don't hurry it. It lands, in my own experience, very gently. The moment of forgiveness was when I woke up with a tune in my head instead of my rage. When I woke up and I went running and I wasn't thinking about that scenario, all signs of forgiveness starting to ripple through my system. When music didn't make me cry anymore, all signs of repair that lead to forgiveness. So I do think forgiveness is possible, and if it's hard to get there, it doesn't mean the other person didn't do wrong. It just means that you no longer need to spend time with that story. And like everybody's making mistakes all the time, including myself.
Yeah.
And maybe that's it.
Do you think that like it's that stage, right? Like you said, is that let's just say, like for me, for example, when my ex-girlfriend broke up with me, I was heartbroken. I was sad. I wanted her back.
Yeah.
I was daily praying for her to come back. And then that vulnerability started to turn into frustration, and then frustration turned into anger. And then that anger was into resentment. And then like you said, I went into a meltdown where I had rage. And I remember I would do video recordings of me just yelling at her. Like not yelling at her, but yelling through the recording of what she did to me. But then what happened was that after that rage, I started to be like, well, I love this girl. And then guess what? The rage came back again. And then eventually, as time goes by, the rage starts to water down and starts to dissipate. And then guess what? The rage becomes forgiveness. To where like now I can truthfully tell you, because time has passed, the anger, the frustrations are no longer even in my mind now. Because again, I don't want to allow that to consume me anymore. And I feel like people are constantly, they want the rage to consume them because they want to be constantly reminded, because they love that pain. They love that pain because they feel like it keeps them alive. But for me, the forgiveness makes me even more awake and transparent with myself. And I can tell you truthfully, if I ever got a call from my ex-girlfriend, I would tell her, I really would, I forgive you. Gladly, I would happily do that, not only for her, but for myself, just to say, you know what you did, it was wrong, but I totally forgive you. Because look what it's done. Like I said, it's raised my emotional IQ even higher than I've ever had. So I know exactly when the next relationship comes, I know exactly what to do, how to treat my girlfriend, how to make it right, how to make it better if something goes wrong. But most importantly, I know that I've done the healing on my own. I've done everything that I need for myself, so that way I can bring my good traits into that next good relationship. So I do understand, and I do think it's so important for people to have that anger, be upset, absolutely, let it out, be fired up, have that rage, but don't let it consume you, because when it does consume you, the good person that you are, you become cruel. You become cruel to yourself. And then after that, you're lost. So I do believe that forgiveness should definitely come into play eventually, whenever you're ready, but don't let the rage consume you forever. Because once you do, you're never going to be that same person again.
Yeah, it's really beautiful what you say there, and I can feel the authenticity of it. Um, and I think what I encourage with my clients quite a lot here is there is the rage phase and there is the heartbreak phase, and it's really important to be in the victim for a while.
Yes.
Like don't be rushing that. But the exciting bit is when you start to build the narrative of your own life. Like be the hero or the heroine in your own life. So these moments of pain, when you pick yourself up or you find something that inspires you or you decide to do a training that makes sense of it all, like for you, you're like, oh, it made me even more emotionally literate. It made me start a podcast or whatever it did that inspired you. Like be writing your own narrative, which is where like consciousness and awareness comes in. Like choosing the role you are playing. Choose the role you are playing. I could still be sitting down in the dumps with depression or anger issues or this, that, and the other. What did I do instead? I was like, I'm going to get me a whole heap of tools. I've got a career that predates all of this anyway. Like, what if pain woke me up to more of who I am? What if it expanded me into someone who public speaks, hold classes, helps other people with heartbreak? Like be the person, the role that you want to do rather than just be the victim.
Right.
Because the expansion out the other side is the creative bit. Like get creative with your pain in time when you're ready to. Or do whatever you want to do. Become a surfer or learn to skate or play music or, learn how to become a mechanic. Whatever it is, It doesn't matter.
Yeah. Find something.
Maybe find something and do it and start to craft your own life rather than wait for the next thing to happen.
Let me ask you this.
Be your own hero.
Yeah. Well, speaking of heroes, let's just say if you have a bad day and you go back home and your partner's there, what are you do you think that he's going to be the hero for you? Like are you to the point now to where you can truthfully say, like, if I go back home and I have a bad day, my partner's got my back? Like this guy, my partner, is there for me. Like, do you have that type of confidence now to where like you've got someone that is going to be there for you on your bad days now? Besides just you, of course.
Yeah, I absolutely have. Absolutely. And the great thing about being my own hero is that I have my own safety.
Yeah.
So that if ever he turned out not to be able to be my hero, A, he's got a few brownie points, so I'm not going to make a... Yeah. Or B, it doesn't matter because I feel really safe in who I am. I'm really loyal to myself as well as really kind and inspiring and a rock to everybody in my life. I'm a very caring person. But I also include myself these days, which I didn't used to do.
Sure.
So I'm my hero, and so is he. Like, so are my best mates. Some of my best mates are my heroes,
Of course.
Like,
but are you going to let him... Oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, go.
I was going to say, but are you going to let him carry those bricks for you? Because I know you seem like a great person. You seem like an amazing person. But like, are you to the point where now you can confidently say, you know what, I had a bad day. I can't carry this load right now. I don't want this burden. Can you help with this?
That was an edge for me a while back. So for me, yes, I have passed that point and I will directly ask for help. And for the listeners, know who you are asking. You're not outsourcing your safety, but you are allowing yourself to be supported. And you can be really clear with what type of support you would like. Like, can we talk about love languages? Because it's so great.
Absolutely. What is your love language? I'm just curious to know. Let me guess.
Yeah,
Do you
go
mind if I
on.
take a guess? Okay, here we
Yeah,
go.
go for it.
I'm going to say physical touch and quality time.
Yeah, yeah. Physical touch, huge for me. Huge for me.
Yeah,
Quality time, absolutely. Absolutely. What are yours?
same.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. And there's something very beautiful about somebody who'd be willing, like quality time, it's in there, that would take some time to help me out. Like it almost has me in tears, which shows you my childhood and things. But like someone who would be like, I'm just gonna drop what I'm doing because like your computer's just broken or the car's like you're in the middle of nowhere or wherever it be, like someone who would do it just astounds me. Like you would do that for me? Amazing. Amazing.
Yeah, things you do for
So
love.
beautiful. It's so beautiful. So knowing your partner's or your potential dating partner's love language, you can
Mhm.
notice it subtly, you know, when they're talking. Some people's love language like is being listened to. Quite a few of my clients, if they listen to me and they're kind, it's going further.
Yeah.
We think it's so much about something else.
Do you, well, because obviously you got a partner now, but for me, like when I ask women what their love language is, do you want to know the one that I never hear is gifts.
Right.
They don't really ask for gifts, and that's great. I think that's amazing
Yeah.
because physical touch is by far probably the top two, because it's great to share that kinetic energy with that person,
Yeah.
to put your
Yeah.
hand on that woman's shoulder or their lower back and to let them know that, like, I like you, I'm here for you, I want
Mm,
to protect you.
mm,
And
mm,
a lot of women now, they don't feel that they're safe anymore. They
mm,
don't feel safe. They don't feel that the guy they're out with is going to be there for them to help them if there ever happens to be any type of danger. And
mm,
a lot of women, they want that safety. They want that
mm,
safety net. And I
mm,
think more men need to let women know that you're safe with me. Like
mm,
tonight, you're safe with me. I got you.
mm, mm,
So don't worry. Like I'm not gonna let any harm come your way. And I feel
mm.
like women need to hear that more. And I feel like men need to tell that more. They need to be more expressive when it comes to that.
Do you think it's vulnerable for a man to express that or not? What's your experience?
Yeah, yeah. And
Mm,
that's the whole point. It's like the men just, they feel like when they become expressive, when they talk more, when they try to be more transparent and open, they feel like they are showing weakness because they
mm,
want to come off like the big, gorilla. But no, it's
mm,
not sexy. Women, every woman I talk to does not think that that's sexy. I mean, again, guys, I'm doing this for you guys. I'm trying to help you. It's like there's no Cliff Notes version. Like this is like hearing from women, by the way. And every woman I spoke to said that they want safety. They want a guy to be expressive because when he is expressive, they find that vulnerability to be extremely attractive.
yeah. Yeah. And if I could be a little bit cheeky,
Are you going to give me another pound? It's going to cost you
I
two
could.
pounds for being cheeky.
Yeah, no, that's okay.
Let's be cheeky. Let's be
Great,
cheeky.
great. Like also like what I don't understand. You mentioned you live out in sort of LA area. Like what I
Yes.
don't understand is people are so caught up in the form that they don't see what's in the form. So for an example, if I'm looking at a guy and he's really ripped and blah blah blah, like what I'll be scanning for with my emotional intelligence and all the rest of my other awakeness in my body is like, is he sensitized? Is he
Hmm.
sensitized to himself as well as his environment? Because if he isn't, it can go nowhere. There's nowhere to go. Like, isn't this whole alive thing to do with sensitivity in terms of like, if we're going to be in the sack together, you're not going to be sensitized. Well, it's not even worth going there, right?
Well, for
Wasting
you,
my
you're
time.
like, maybe, but then again, some women are saying, well, at least I was able to have intercourse with a guy who's got six pack abs. Right? Some women
Right.
just want to have that. Some women just want to have a ripped guy in lieu of a guy who's sensitized.
Yeah,
And
it's so
that's okay.
boring.
It is
It's
boring.
okay. It's okay so long as people aren't getting hurt. So one of my clients the other week, she got told by a boyfriend, "Oh, well, you were never my, my arm trophy standard." It's like your arm trophy standard. Like what does that
What is
even
it?
mean? She was a
Yeah.
human being. She's a human being. Either you like being with her or you don't. Like for me, that's a game that's way out of connection with one's heart. It's okay. He probably got his heart broken later on and realized that actually, connecting with this and the body and the soul and the excitement of seeing someone thrive and the vulnerability of like watching what happens when a male heart opens. You know what if it's hetero, you know what your partner's going to do. She's just going to be holding you so close or giving you space or opening her heart to yours and loving you even more because you just dared to get vulnerable. Most women will open even more to you.
Do you think that
You'll
women are
get the
more?
call.
Do you think that women would prefer a man who is, I wouldn't say overweight, but he's got the dad bod? You know, the dad bod where they got the little beer belly. They're not taking care of themselves. They're not well groomed. However, once he opens his mouth, they're like, "Oh my gosh, this guy's a breath of fresh air. He's amazing. He sounds like a really nice guy. He's got good energy, but on the outside, he doesn't look like I want to be out on the beach with him." Or would you rather have that guy like we talked about, the 6-pack abs, who's looks amazing, chiseled as fuck, and he's like your arm candy. However, once he opens his mouth, you're like, "Oh God, just please shut it," because what you're saying is just like it's not what I want to hear. It's not stimulating me. Do you
Yeah.
do you feel like women? Well, actually, let me phrase that. How would you, or actually, what type of guy would you rather have?
You know what's missing from this conversation is the curiosity. Of course, I'd be bored with somebody who goes no further because I'm a deep diver. Like I'm
Yeah,
intense. I want to go there. I want to go there with you. I want to like that's exciting. If you want to go to places that maybe we have never been before, let's do it. But and that person would be scared of that because I'd be going into the unknown. I'd be going untamed. I'd be going wild. I'd be like, what's even possible that we hadn't even thought of? There's somebody very contained. It's not going to feel so good for them. But what about the curiosity of the guy who's got the dad board? What about the humanity to ask him when it felt right? Like, oh, I notice you don't look after yourself so well. What happened?
Hmm.
Or let me do that for you. Like, should we get into some fitness? Because like it must have really hurt, and then you forgot to take care of yourself, and we could do that again. You could do that for yourself. It's okay. You matter.
Yeah. It's
Like
just
it's
the
so
point
missing,
of would
isn't
they
it?
do that? Let me ask you this though: if it were the other way around, if you had an amazing woman who's got amazing energy but doesn't have the bod that you were hoping for, can you imagine saying that to your significant other, saying, "Honey, I think you're great, but what do you say we go to the gym and start eating healthier?" Can you imagine having that conversation? You'd be sleeping on the couch from here on out.
It's what matters, doesn't it? It's like if there is pain under the dad bod that wants resolving because he's neglected himself, then I'd be interested in the pain. If actually that's just what he got, right? You got a load of DNA together and you threw it in a body and that's what it's going to do age 35. Don't try and change anybody.
Yeah.
Like if they're like also bodies do age.
Yes,
People
they
do
do.
have babies. People do feed their babies, and then you're going to be a different shape. Like men are going to age, they are going to lose their hair, the love handles are going to arrive, maybe or maybe not, it depends what you got dealt. And then there's no need for change. It's just like quite funny, isn't it?
Speak for yourself there, honey. Like this is all my hair, by the way. 45. Like it's like shit.
You got some good genes there.
Thank the Lord. Well, again,
But
like
it is just funny.
No, I get you. No, I do. And I think that if there was a guy who didn't have like that dad bod who didn't have pain, was accepting of who he is, I would hope that his wife or girlfriend would say, you know what? I love you for who you are, but maybe, just maybe, what do you say we try something different? I'd be all, if that were me, if like my girlfriend told me, hey honey, I think you're amazing, but I think it'd be great if you took care of yourself a little bit better. I'd be like, okay, let's give it a shot. Yeah, because you
because you
matter.
matter. Not because I need to see you like one stone less, but because you matter, and maybe you're getting tired, and you could be less tired if if we worked out more and we went for a run. Or what?
Yeah.
Out of care, isn't it? It's a part of looking after each other. And and there's going to be some people who dad bod is their thing. Good kink.
As long as my man boobs are not bigger than my girlfriend's boobs, then we're okay.
It's a very fragile ego.
I'm a fragile guy. I'm very sensitive.
That's right.
I am a sensi. No, I'm just kidding. Well, my dear, let me ask you this though. Let me ask you my closeout question, because I know you got football and you got better fish to fry here. Oh, actually, one last thing. Do you mind if I ask one other question here? Is that okay, real quick?
Yeah.
What attracts us to those who don't want us?
Classic. What attracts us to those that don't want us? I would probably be looking at trauma bonding, which is a huge topic. And I would be looking at, like, in our childhood, what our expectation is. So that's a very deep topic. So if you're used to rejection as a child, and then also you start to expect rejection as an adult, then that can create a manifestation of rejection. It doesn't mean it's your fault, but often there's things going on there. If you had an unavailable father and you're a female seeking a male partnership, you might move towards an unavailable potential partner, because it's what you're used to. So we have to unhook from that stuff in order to create more health.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. That's good to know.
Great.
I just have to ask those questions because, again, I think it's important for people to know that. I really do. Especially men.
Yeah.
I'm trying to get more men to listen to this.
Yeah.
It's so fucking hard.
Yeah.
But anyway, let me ask you this, my closeout question, my dear. If there is, and this is perfect for you because music is your jam. So if there is a song that's going to help you soothe or groove or move on your good or bad days, tell us what's the name of that song.
Oh, beautiful. In my hardest times, I headed to a band called Broken Back, and his voice really sung me through my hard times. And I found out afterwards that his music was produced after he actually broke his back and he became a very famous musician. And so he was singing about the dark times, but he was singing it with hope and transformation and the possibility that one day you're going to feel something different. And that was my go-to in my hardest time. It was brilliant.
What's the name of the artist?
The name of the artist is Broken Back.
Broken Back. What's the name of the song?
Yeah. Oh yeah. So there was Lost and Highs and Low and Shine by Broken Back. Highs and Lows would probably be my go-to, and Shine was beautiful. Shine was about talking about how you were gonna feel by Broken Back. That was awesome.
Highs and Lows by Broken Back. Okay, I gotta listen to him. Interesting.
Great.
I love it. Well, my dear.
Great.
Do I owe you? What's the score, by the way, as far as who owes who in pounds?
I think it's 2-2. I think we've done well.
Okay.
And after the show, will you send me a tune?
Of course. What would you like?
Anything that saw you through the hard times.
I have a few.
Great.
I have a few. Well, my dear, I can't thank you enough for being with me, girl. Thank you.
It was really good fun. Thank you so much, Shervin. Really appreciate it.
Much love for you, girl.
Bye-bye.